Growing up a Gator fan, coming to the University of Florida was a dream for Ryan Orr. Orr's dream became a reality when he signed to play golf for the Orange and Blue. Upon arriving in Gainesville, Orr wanted to make an impact and exceed expectations. But to the Bel Air, Florida native, he was only up to par.
First 2 years here, I played just about every single golf tournament, but I wouldn't say that I played particularly what I consider well. Coming in here as a freshman, I didn't expect to play right away, and I ended up playing in every single tournament my freshman year. And then last year, having JC come in it was a lot different, and it took a while to get used to, but couldn't be happier with him now as well, and what he's doing with this program and how he's transformed my game and just how I kind of think about the game of golf, it's been a lot better. And so coming into this year, it's looking a lot better.
When J.C. Deacon became Florida's head coach, Ryan Orr's name was one of the first names associate head coach John Handrigan mentioned, and Deacon looked forward to seeing Orr's potential.
Ryan was someone that I had heard a lot about when I got here, and someone I was really excited about. One of the guys that John Handrigan had really talked about being a leader, and to be totally honest, I didn't see it right away. And it took him a while to kind of figure me out, I guess, and our expectations and what I was looking for. I knew it first time I ever saw him swing a club. I didn't understand why his results were the way they were. Haven't changed a lot technically, but just kind of working with his mindset and helping Ryan understand how good he was.
Just as Deacon had noticed, Orr knew in order to see his name atop leaderboards, something in his game needed to change.
My freshman year, it was a whole lot different attitude-wise than I would have acted last year or this year so far. My freshman year, I kind of got just too down on myself, and I think I just put too much pressure on myself all the time. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just golf.
It was clear Orr had the talent and the drive to succeed, but Deacon wanted Orr to have the right mindset.
I told him last year, this team is going nowhere if we don't have you. And it was kind of my final approach or strategy with him was I think I got to put it on him and let him know how important he is to the team, and he really embraced that. He started working a lot harder. I think really felt his importance to the team, and then he just kept growing with every tournament.
I think the biggest key for me with John and JC was, they weren't looking for scores. What they were looking for is how we handled ourselves. What's your attitude like? What are you doing on the golf course before and after the rounds? No matter what you shot, how are you acting? And I think that really, really helped me. I always thought about being patient and positive at all times. Didn't matter what was going on or off the golf course. If it was playing well, playing bad, anything. Just if you stayed patient and positive, good things will eventually happen. And I didn't completely understand that at first. And it took me a while to buy into it, but it really does help, and that's the biggest key for me right now.
Patience and positivity has begun to pay off. Orr finished his sophomore year being the only Gator to make the cut for the final day of stroke play at the NCAA Championship, where he tied for 38th. Now in his junior year, Deacon can't wait to see Orr's commitment and leadership continue to be rewarding.
I just can't say enough about what he does and what he brings to the table. He's just a pleasure to be around, and I think once we gave him more responsibility, that's when he's really run with it. So it's kind of, we've given him a little bit and he's really taken off with it, and that's been the impressive thing about him.
I would say that I'm probably just a lot more happy on the golf course. I'm just being as patient as possible, and I'm just going to keep going and doing my thing and always stay happy. And you can never be negative. You can never let that creep into your golf game at all while you're on the course. I like being at the point where my body language, you won't be able to tell if I'm playing good or bad. So if you walk up to me, I'm going to be the exact same person, whether I'm having one of my best rounds ever or one of my worst rounds ever.
Great competitor, loyal friend, full of life, a winner. 1 year after losing his battle to Ewing sarcoma, these are the words that continue to define Sean Carl. A native of Nashville, Carl was a member of the University of Tennessee's tennis team. His best friend, Max Littman, a member of the University of Florida's.
It was such an easygoing relationship. We kind of both fed off each other. We had the same type of personalities. We were just very similar, and I think don't really have a distinct moment when we kind of became best friends, but he was that childhood friend that I spent every weekend with. Never would have thought that I would have 10 amazing years with Sean and still having these amazing memories with his family.
Inseparable since age 9, the two grew up playing with and against each other in more tournaments than Lippman can count, going on more vacations than he can remember, making more memories than he can recollect.
We kind of had these card nights. Me at 17, 18 years old playing cards seems, rather like a very chill night. It's kind of those memories that I look back on and think there's nothing special about it, but we were all together and we were all having a great time. On court, we won a gold ball together at National Clay Courts, and that was probably our best on-court accomplishment. And with it being doubles, is kind of being able to share it with him is just kind of a special memory that we cherished together because we had played so much together, but we never really had the greatest success. So to kind of finally have that was very special.
In October 2012, his senior year of high school, Carl was diagnosed with the rare form of bone cancer. After months of radiation and chemotherapy, Carl was cleared for his freshman season at Tennessee. But in November 2013, his cancer had returned. The volunteers were on Carl's side every day. Lippman had to cheer from afar.
Knowing that my best friend is fighting cancer, and I don't know how long he'll be with us and how much longer he's going to be able to keep fighting, and knowing that I'm away was probably the hardest thing.
The duo dreamed of playing in the SEC, and when they committed to separate schools, they couldn't wait to battle on center court.
When he was diagnosed, I realized that he may never get to play tennis again. That's what I was most scared about. All I wanted was for him to become healthy and be able to live the life that he just truly deserved.
Growing up, Elliot Orkin often faced Lippman and Carl in the same tournaments, becoming friends with the Nashville duo. After becoming Gators, Lippman and Orkin's bond only strengthened with Carl's fight.
It's tough, it's not something that this topic to bring up to him all the time, but I know he knows that he can always talk to me about it if he needs to talk to somebody. And we're best friends, we're roommates, we're doubles partners. Sean will always be Max's best friend for the rest of his life, but if I can be as good of a friend as Sean was to Max, then I'm doing well.
Carl passed away in November 2014, but his legacy continues to be celebrated on and off the tennis court.
When Max talks about Sean, he talks about his competitive spirit, and he knows that Sean is somewhere just saying, Max, let's go, man, let's get it done. And so I think Max, in his own ways, is playing for Sean as much as he's playing for himself and playing for the team. And I think it's just extra motivation for him every time he takes the court, because he knows that's what Sean would want for him.
On Rocky Top, center court bears Carl's name. In the swamp, Lippman carries Carl's presence wherever he goes.
I wouldn't be near the tennis player I was without him and the amount of hours that we put on court together. And so when I walk on the court today, I try to do it for both of us, and I try to take some of his greatest strengths and carry them with me. And even though I don't do a great job of doing that, I know in the back of my mind that I'm trying, and if anything, and it should help me to kind of be a better player on the court. And I wear this necklace that Sean's mom gave me. He was given the necklace by a family friend when he was fighting cancer, and as kind of a way to remember him, his mom bought a lot of his close friends this necklace, and I wear it every day as kind of a way that Sean is with me every single day, and it's that simple reminder that I never want to forget him. And when I'm on court and playing tennis, sometimes I'll get hit in the mouth with it or something, and I just kind of laugh because it's maybe I did something wrong at that point. Maybe Sean wasn't happy about that, but it's something that helps me because I never forget about him, and I don't think I would either way. But I love having and wearing a reminder of him and knowing that he's always with me in whatever I do, and wherever I go, Sean's presence will be with me.
The volunteer spirit is never far away from Lippman, especially when he steps on the court each day.
I do wear orange wristbands. It's something that I do wear as kind of a tribute to him and a tribute to his love for Tennessee. I don't even really love the color orange, but here it is. Here I am just wearing it for him.
Carl didn't want to be known for his cancer, but rather for the life that he lived. And in his last few days, a letter from Lippman to his best friend let him know he'd won the final match.
Those helped me a lot because I read them quite a bit, and basically just told him how much an inspiration he was to never stop fighting, to know that things are bleak, but there's always a chance and there's always a miracle around the corner. And even though that miracle wasn't there for Sean, it doesn't mean, I still think that Sean's battle was a miracle, and the amount of people that he inspired is a miracle in itself.
The Florida Gators volleyball team off to a great start this season, sweeping 5 out of their last 6 matches, which has led them to a top 15 ranking in the country. The success of that squad wasn't just built down in the swamp, but rather all across the world. Let's take a look at the international flair of the Gators in this SEC homegrown feature.
One Gator Nation is a saying that extended internationally this summer as head coach Mary Wise and 7 of her players represented Florida volleyball around the globe.
The experience was a lot of fun, just being able to travel to different countries that I've never been to and just experiencing their cultures, and also just playing with a group of girls that are really good friends, but girls that I don't get to see too often, and then just playing volleyball and having fun.
Participating in the European Global Challenge, Abby Dietering was a member of the BIP Midwest U22 squad, while 2 Gators donned the red, white, and blue for the USA Junior National Team. Having 2 teammates by her side made Vermont Allison feel right at home.
Playing with Carly on the same team, it does help because she understands more of our systems, and we can just talk through certain things and kind of help each other even though we're in different positions, and just having a friend around.
While playing for USA Volleyball, junior Alex Holston had the benefit of playing for Coach Wise in South Korea.
Just seeing a familiar face everywhere I went with volleyball, I think that was just really helpful for me because I don't like leaving my comfort zone, and she knows that. So even just having those little talks where she would pull me to the side, I think that was really great.
Playing for national teams has allowed the Gators to grow their game in areas they hadn't before.
I would say my biggest takeaway for volleyball was being able to think on my toes. That was super important for us and as a collegiate player, because when you get to the tournament, you don't have that much time to scout a team. And so just being able to think on your toes in a game and understand, it's super important for this sport.
While learning on the court, it was the experiences off the court that taught them the most.
It was definitely shell shock going there. But it makes you appreciate what you have so much. I know us leaving, we were all so happy to be going home, but we were also humbled by the experience of being there in a world that's completely different than the United States.
Playing internationally was a decision that didn't come easy, but the lessons learned were absolutely worth it.
Before, I was debating whether I wanted to play overseas or not. Going overseas this past summer, I definitely did change my mind, so now I know when I'm done playing for the University of Florida that I do want to go overseas and play.
You have to do it. If you get an opportunity to do it, you have to do it because you'll regret it if you don't. It opens so many doors for you, this sport does, and you need to take what's behind each door.
When Tennessee accepted a bid to play Iowa in the Taxslayer Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, there was no doubt that Team 118 was excited. But no one was more thrilled than Jordan Williams, who would be playing in his first bowl game just 90 miles from where he grew up. A native of Gainesville, Williams was raised around the University of Florida. Both his parents and sister were Gators. But the defensive lineman wanted something new, and he committed to Tennessee.
We heard a bunch of rumors about where we could have been, where we were going to go, but no one thought we were going to be playing a bowl game in Florida. And it was a great feeling knowing it was just about an hour away from home.
Despite the distance from home and the adversity he faced, Williams never gave up, a value instilled early on in him by his parents.
When he decided, I want to give this a shot, he came home saying, I don't want to play anything else. So Jordan and football kind of chose each other.
It's been tough. It's been tough. I'm trying to reiterate to him, it was more about you. So you want to be part of this. You're a part of the school. You're a part of the system. You're a representation of the school. And I said, go ahead, fight through it, stick it out, and he's glad he did.
On Rocky Top, Williams gained another family. And it wasn't until the eve of his final Tennessee game that he realized how special his playing days were.
We just had a team meeting, and Coach told us that this time, tomorrow night, it's all over. And that's huge. Just think, less than 24 hours, it's all said and done.
From Gainesville, Florida, defensive tackle number 54, Jordan Williams.
He's a great kid. Jordan independently made his mind up, and we're extremely proud of him for that. Part of us in Gainesville, the process to be a Tennessee volunteer, and I told him that the process got completed this year, the year he's leaving. We are true Tennessee volunteer fans.
Reporting for UTSports.com, I'm Whitney Haworth.